Next tonight, the workers turning to homeless charities because they can't find a place to stay. Nottingham's winter shelter says it's already taken in 8 people who are actually in paid work, while others are being forced to sleep in their cars. Well, our social affairs correspondent, Jeremy Ball, he's at the shelter for us tonight. Good evening to you, Jeremy.
Hello, and just look at this. This is one of 4 dormitories in what is a disused building at the University of Nottingham. But this is about so much more than a bed for the night. This is about helping people out of homelessness. 30 men and women expected to stay here tonight, and downstairs this evening's meals being prepared by these volunteers from a local accountancy firm. Some of the guests are here because of relationship breakdowns, but it's the numbers who go to work that you might find really surprising. And Mandy is supporting James, who is now in a full-time construction job. We've agreed not to identify him because he fled to Nottingham from another area.
So basically I was staying in the YMCA, and you're not allowed to work in the YMCA over 16 hours, and the system wasn't really helping me get in house because I didn't have a local connection for 3 years. So I started working to go off my own bat, and I was evicted because I was working. So I spent a couple of nights on the street, and then Street Outreach referred me to this place.
And it's not just here at the winter shelter where they're seeing homeless people who've got jobs, they're seeing others who are spending the night in their cars, often people who've moved to Nottingham for work and then simply can't find tenancies nearby. And Charlotte Simpson has been speaking to 2 young friends who spent months sleeping in a Renault.
So this is like one of the cars that you used to sleep in, right?
Yeah, of course, and I can show you how I arrange my bedding in the back.
This is the bed setup.
For most of this year, Luke's been living in his car. The 25-year-old became homeless after struggling to find affordable accommodation in Nottingham.
Like, I benefit from not being exactly too tall, but it was a case of legs like this, you know, hood up, like that. You never really understand how cold things can get when you're outside of a house in the winter, you know. I would, for the most part, you know, try and brush my teeth, like wash your hair, like pack my bed away. But it was actually kind of embarrassing to do this in public. You know, like people would see me, you know, waking up or like getting out of my car, removing bedding. And I'd see the same people over and over, like when I'm in the same places, and it was embarrassing.
Luke grew up with his grandparents in Norfolk, but left the area to find work. He met Jimmy along the way. Both got jobs in a pub and a cinema, but it wasn't enough.
Me and Luke were living in his car, working a job full-time for about 3 months straight. And the issues we run into was that of guarantors. As I say, if you don't have a strong family network, you know, we don't have the option of having someone guarantee that they can pay the rent if we don't make it.
I said I'd start bringing you guys content.
A few weeks ago, Luke and Jimmy started documenting their journey online. They had a huge response, and donations started coming in from the public. It enabled them to get this caravan.
Unexpectedly, our channels became almost like this hub for people in similar situations to like share their experiences and get advice from like other people in the comments. And I feel like that's a good thing that's come from all this. I cut myself off from the world a lot, like when I became, you know, depressed when I was homeless. But seeing all these positive, wonderful people online and just constantly having conversations, it's really affected my mental health. And like I feel positive for the first time in as long as I can remember now. And like it's come from the most unlikely of events, you know.
Now, I've spoken to Nottingham's Street Outreach team who say they were supporting Luke and that they offered to help him find accommodation locally. And here at the winter shelter, they've actually found homes already for 16 of the guests here who've been here since the start of October. For more on that, let's speak to Dennis Tully from Emmanuel House that runs the shelter here. First of all, why are you seeing so many people in work becoming homeless?
Well, Jeremy, in Nottingham, we've got a real affordability issue. You know, rented accommodation is very expensive, and very often what people earn doesn't meet the rent. Also, people sometimes are evicted through no fault of their own under Section 21. And then the other thing is sometimes, you know, relationship breakdown in the family and people find themselves with nowhere to live.
You're also seeing foreign nationals coming here who are here because they've just been granted the right to work, aren't you?
Yeah, so we've got some refugees here. They've been granted the right to remain and therefore have the right to work. But it takes some time to get the benefits sorted out and to get into work. So they have respite here for a short while before they can move on into accommodation.
You've been working in the homelessness charity business for a very long time now. How do you think the dynamics are changing?
Well, definitely the numbers are increasing. The level of need that people have is certainly increasing. People, I think, are a lot more demanding because they're desperate. Quite often it's a long road to get into accommodation, and that's hard work.
And you're open here until the end of March. How much difference do you think this place can make?
Well, Jeremy, it's 30 people a night for 6 months, and that's a big difference for the streets of Nottingham.
Dennis Tully, thanks for joining us. And just to reinforce that, I was speaking earlier on to one man who's been sleeping over in that corner for just over a month now. He's been offered a viewing for a flat this Friday, and he told me this place has been a godsend.
Fingers crossed for him. Jeremy, thank you very much indeed.